This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast. Hey friends, welcome to All Have Another podcast with Lindsay Hine. I'm your host, Lindsay. Thanks for joining us today. This podcast is supported by Cure Hydration. Cure is a plant-based hydrating electrolyte drink mix with no added sugar. It is natural, delicious, and I'm loving it. My favorite flavor is the watermelon flavor. Watermelon is just so refreshing. So good. They also have strawberry kiwi, blood orange, lime, tropical punch, berry pomegranate, lemonade, ginger turmeric. I do love that one as well. I was drinking that yesterday. And this is a perfect way to start your day. It's a perfect way to get in those electrolytes you need to be replacing after you have a nice sweaty workout. Cure Hydration is science-backed and they have quality ingredients. They use ingredients like coconut water powder and pink Himalayan salt, and is rigorously tested to ensure that they meet quality standards. Not only is this a great electrolyte drink, it tastes really good too. Cure is an oral rehydration solution, ORS, that follows the formula developed by the WHO, which was proven to hydrate as effectively as an IV drip. So, hydration goes beyond just drinking water, and you gotta try this electrolyte drink. Listeners of All Have Another, Cure is offering 20% off your first order. Stay hydrated and feel your best by visiting curehydration.com/another. Use the promo code ANOTHER at checkout. That's curehydration.com/another and use the code ANOTHER for 20% off your first order. All right, friends, today on the show, Calli Hauger-Thackery is joining us. And wow, she is one to be watching right now. She just ran a big PR in Japan. She ran 66:58 for the half marathon, placing second. And recently she was back on the track as well. And she said that was her first track race on an indoor track in 8 years. So you can see Calli running fast anywhere from the 3K to the marathon. I think a lot of us first heard about Calli when she ran the McKirdy Micro Marathon. She debuted the marathon there and won that race in 2:22:17 in her debut marathon. Wow. She then was selected to run in the Paris Olympics for Great Britain, and she did start that race, had to DNF it, had a lot going on. We talk about all of that in this podcast episode, but she went on to run Berlin and PR'd, running a 2:21:24. And then she won CIM last year, running 2:24:28 with a sprint to the finish. That was pretty darn epic. She is sponsored by Nike, coached by her husband, Nick, and she'll be racing at 10,000 on the track and Boston. So she'll be running her first Boston Marathon in April. She's an exciting athlete to be watching, running some really fast times, and just has really great energy and is fun to see in the mix of all these amazing women running incredible times these days. If you do enjoy the episode, let Calli know. Go follow her on Instagram and let her know. I'd love it if you could leave us a quick rating and review on iTunes or Spotify, wherever you're listening. And of course, one of the very best ways to support this podcast is to just share it on your social media and with your friends who are interested in running. That is huge. So thank you so much for being here, and please enjoy my conversation with Calli. All right. Well, today on the podcast, we have Calli Hauger-Thackery on the show. Welcome to the show, Calli.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, how's it going? You're in Flagstaff, you said, out in the sticks. How's training going out there?
Yeah, it's going really well. I have a love-hate relationship with Flagstaff. I've had a few horrible moments here, and I've had a few good moments. Like, I've definitely, seen both sides of Flagstaff and what it can do. But in terms of, the elevation, fitness, and everything, it's been a good confidence boost this time around. And even though I've been in and out a lot for races and things, it's been a good little stint, and it's been nice to have some really good company here at the minute with like the likes of Sarah Hall and Emily Durgan and quite a lot of others as well who have been hopping in and out of sessions with us. So yeah, I've been really lucky and fortunate this time around for sure.
Okay, love, hate. What are the most lovable things about Flagstaff in your opinion?
Yeah, the most lovable thing is definitely like all the trails, all the routes we have. Like, there's like endless trails here, like endless beauty with the mountains, and like you just and the obviously the gains you get like when it goes right is just phenomenal. So when you go back down to sea level, you're like, okay, it's all been worth it.
And then what do we dislike the most? What's the hate part?
I hate is just like it's savage here. Like, it's absolutely brutal. Like, it doesn't get easier, and I feel like no matter how fit you are, it never feels. Yeah, it's not a breeze. Not that training ever is, but it's definitely like got another element to it with being at 7,000 feet. It's just very high. Like this, I've definitely like not really like suffered before with altitude. I feel like like in New Mexico, I was able to deal with it so well. Like it never affected me when I went to university there for 4 years. But here it's like another kind of altitude. Like, you really do have to do everything right, I feel like, because it can go very wrong if you don't. And same with St. Moritz. Like, I've never really suffered there, but Flagstaff, yeah, brutal. But I do love it at the same time. Like I say, love hate.
What's the elevation difference between like New Mexico and St. Moritz to Flagstaff? You said Flagstaff 7,000. What are they?
Yeah, so New Mexico and St. Moritz are very similar. So around 5,000 feet elevation. So yeah, a few thousand feet less than Flagstaff.
Oh, wow. So you really noticed that difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw you've been training with Sarah Hall and Emily Durgin, like you said. How have you decided like who you're going to be syncing up with and training with right now?
Yeah, I've known Emily for a while now. I think a few camps at this point. I've been training with her, and then as of like I guess a few months back, Sarah joined us on one of the workouts as well, and it was a great workout. It was just, we laugh at it now, and I don't think Sarah will mind me saying this, but yeah, Sarah joined in with us, and it was one of the top end speed workouts we were doing. And she, on the one of the last reps, we just noticed that Sarah just went to like basically all on her knees, and she was like throwing up.
Oh yeah!
Like, oh wow! I was like impressed though. I was like, wow, fair play. Like, she's really working hard here.
Yeah, she goes all out.
I was like impressed by it, and she was like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've not done that since like high school. I'm just like, I've only ever done that once, and I was like pretty proud of it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, okay, I made Sarah Hall throw up. Like,
love it. That's so good.
No, but she's been back ever since, so we must have done something right. But no, it's been great. Like, we all complement each other very well in different workouts. We all have different strengths and weaknesses, and it's definitely been great to like push each other and just like a good like little group we've got going on right now. So yeah, and then there's other people coming in and out as well from like other teams, and that's the good thing about Flagstaff. It's just like there's always people to train with and work with, and you never feel like you're on your own. Especially like in like marathon training, like it gets quite hard, especially on your own. So it's nice to like mix it up with other people. But yeah, I feel very fortunate at the minute to have such a good group of people around.
Oh, I love that story so much. Sarah's like, okay, they made me throw up. I'm coming back. I need more of this.
Yeah, for sure. She's so tough. Like, yeah. I love it.
So tough. And yeah, I mean, in a world where like we see a lot of marathoners training in groups and just like distance runners training in groups, you all have your own separate sponsors and your own thing going on, and you just kind of come together. I love that. I mean, just because you don't have a formal group doesn't mean you can't have your training partners that you train with regularly.
Yeah, exactly. I think for a long time as well, I was doing like a lot on my own, obviously a lot with my husband. Like, I try and hang on for Day of Life with him on some of the sessions, and I just do a bit less than him. But to have like a girl group with different, like you say, different strengths, different sponsors, different backgrounds, like I just think it like adds another element. And yeah, we definitely like really are pushing each other at the minute. So I'm definitely really enjoying this stint, and honestly, it's making me want to like get a house out here, like a base here. Like, I was actually gonna I thought I was gonna move back to New Mexico, my old roots from when I went to university, but now I'm like been talked into looking at properties here. So hopefully, like, when I come to the US in the future, maybe I will like get a base here instead now. Be nice to have like a base in Flagstaff or Phoenix area, and I do love the training out here. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay, but what is your base? Because we obviously know you're from Great Britain, but like where and Nick's from here, you went to University of New Mexico, you're training in Flagstaff. Like what is home at this point?
Honestly, I know I feel like this gypsy athlete, like I'm all over the place, aren't I? Yeah, I guess my base is like it's 50-50 at the minute with the UK and the US, which I do like. And I think honestly, like I get that question a lot, like where is your base going to be ultimately? But I think I'll always do 50-50. Like I just really enjoy the UK. Obviously it's home, my family's there. And obviously Nick, who's now, now my family, my US family are here. So it's like, yeah, we do like to split our time. And I think the UK is great in the like summer months, and like that's where a lot of my European season campaign will be. Like a lot of the races I like to do in Europe, then try and make the teams through the Worlds or the Olympics or European Championships, Commonwealth Games. So it makes sense to split my time.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then what about, because Nick, where's he originally from?
Yeah, so Nick is from Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where all of his family still basically are. So yeah, we do go back normally for Christmas time. But yeah, it does have a few elements there because obviously the snow in the winter is just crazy. But yeah, no, like that's normally where he is. But he has been based in Flagstaff now for the last 5 years.
Okay, so we have to pause on the running talk because I have to talk about your wedding dress. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. No, that means a lot. I do love that dress. I've not been able to like part with it because I never knew what I would do with it, but I'm like, no, I do love it. I got really lucky with that dress. I found it I got a bargain on it, and I found it really early in like in the shopping, because it is overwhelming shopping for your dress for your wedding day. And yeah, I got very lucky with it. But thank you, I appreciate that.
But what's the story on you guys getting married? Because I saw on Instagram it was like a quick turnaround, and you're like, thanks to everybody who like came on out on a whim or whatever. Like why was this such a quick turnaround?
Yeah, we literally got married like 1 year after the like, was it the day we met? Or technically the day
it's the day that we
officially became boyfriend and girlfriend, and the year
wow, just 1 year.
Yeah, the 5th of November. So we're like, I think it was like a crazy, like spontaneous thing one night where I couldn't sleep. It was like 3 a.m. and I was thinking like, oh my God, like I just knew it felt right with me and Nick, and I was just like looking on my phone at the calendar of like when our anniversary was going to be, and I was like, in my head, I was just like, if it falls on a Saturday or a Sunday, I think it's just meant to be that we just get married.
Yeah.
And I looked on the calendar and it fell on a Sunday, our anniversary, and I rang him up at like 3 a.m. because I could not sleep. I was in the UK and he was in America at the time. We were doing long distance for a little bit. And I rang him and I was like, look at the calendar a second and look when our anniversary is. And he was like, it's on a Sunday. Why? And I was like, do you think we should just get married? And he was like, are you being serious? And I was like, yeah, I'm being deadly serious. And he was like, of course you always have to go one step ahead, but funnily enough, I'd just been looking at wedding rings. So he was thinking of proposing then, but obviously I'm always one step ahead, and I'm like, why don't we just get married? Like, and he was like, I mean, if you're for it, I'm 100% for it. And then, yeah, we basically like went from there. We planned it within like 2 months. And we told all our friends and family, and they were completely on board with it. They were like, yeah, why not? Like, it makes sense. We were very lucky that we got most of our family and friends to come last minute on a whim. But yeah, it's just, I feel like that describes us.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. I had no idea too that like your relationship had been so short before you planned it, and you proposed then.
Yeah, I basically proposed. He's so proud of that.
I love it.
Yeah, I basically was the one that like asked him. I was like, even at the very start, I was like, so are you going to ask me to be your girlfriend or what? We've been spending every day together for the past like
few weeks. The poor guy. I'm just like,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, I swear we'll get back to running, but the last question there then is, how did you guys meet?
Yeah, a Flagstaff training camp. It was kind of like through Alice Wright, actually, a former teammate of mine, a former teammate of Nick's, and she was like, Callie, I've got a guy for you. And I was like, Alice, I'm not looking right now. I've come here to train. I've put my head down. Like, yeah, I'll be open-minded. But at the same time, I'm not gonna, like, I don't know. I didn't think anything of it. And then we literally met on the long run, classic long run. I think I literally died. That is when it went horribly wrong the first time in flag for me. It was horrible.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, met on that long run, and then I got really, really, like, altitude sickness, like crazy altitude sickness. And he was actually going through a bit of an injury at the time. So I went down to Scottsdale to, like, get myself right, go to sea level. And he came with me. We spent 3 days in Scottsdale, and the rest is history.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. Hey, friends, we've got a new sponsor here that I'm so excited to tell you about, and that is Anderson's Organic Pure Maple Syrup. Have you ever thought about fueling on the run with maple syrup? I know a lot of people are interested in trying natural ways to fuel their body, and Pure Fuel by Anderson's Maple Syrup is naturally packed with electrolytes, minerals, antioxidants, and vitamins, providing athletes and exercise enthusiasts with the fuel they need to achieve top performance and recover quickly. So, I mean, there's an extra bonus. Pure maple syrup can be used on your pancakes and on your run. So they actually have their maple syrup in fuel packs. They're 1 ounce pouches. The motto at Anderson's Maple Syrup is from waffles to workouts. Let me break this down for you. There's 110 calories in a Pure Fuel packet of maple syrup, 27 grams of carbs. And if you compare that, the carbs, to Goo, Hammer Gel, Huma, UCAN, Honey Stinger, Morton, it has more carbs than any of those products if you're just looking at their standard product. It is pure maple syrup that is organic. It has 90 milligrams of potassium, which is great, 8 milligrams of magnesium, 0.3 milligrams of zinc, 30 milligrams of calcium, and it does not have a lot of sodium. That's the only thing. So one thing you'll want to do is, if you are using this as your fuel on the run, is you're probably going to want to take like a salt tab or something like that, especially if you're on a run that you're really sweaty, because we do need to replace the sodium as well. What I will say about the pure maple syrup as a fueling source on the run, if you're someone that struggles with gels upsetting your stomach, and you still want to find a good way to get in all those carbs, because we know the research says we need these carbs on the run, check this out. It's worth giving it a try with that 27 grams of carbs per packet. And it could be one of those things where you mix that with other gels. Like, say you are running a marathon and you know you need X number of carbs per half hour or hour, but like stomaching that many gels just isn't doing it for you. It would be a great idea to check out fueling with this maple syrup for some of those nutrition hits that you need. Check it out. It's worth trying on your long run. And I've got a code for you, although you might be able to find it cheapest on Amazon, to be honest. So the code, when you go to andersonsmaplesyrup.com, the code is FUEL20, and you can redeem that code on their website. You also might just want to check out Amazon to see if it's cheaper over there. They have 24 packs on Amazon. Also super handy to travel with. I am a syrup snob, so we only buy organic maple syrup here at our house, and at this point I just can't go back. So their little Pure Fuel packets come in handy. Again, check out this new sponsor. This is a small family-owned business. Go to andersonsmaplesyrup.com, and if you check out on their website, use the code FUEL20. That's 20, FUEL20. All right, friends, back to the show. Okay, let's talk about what we're up to. I know you're running Boston. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Terrified, excited, all of the things. But yeah, no, I got to see the course the other day, and I really like that course. It looks fun, looks different, and I just love a good race. I think it's nice to like not worry about a time and just like race it.
Yeah. And then what kind of runner are you as far as like hills go? Like on a course like that where you're saying like you're there to race, not necessarily care about a fast time?
Yeah, I think it just makes it interesting. Like there'll be a lot of surges and different things. Like I think for me, like I noticed there was just a lot of downhill, like for a lot of that race, and then I feel like the ups come like towards the end. But apparently, like one of my friends was saying, like, and she was like, honestly, Callie, like you beg for the ups in the end because of all the downs and the surging and. But yeah, I'll just make it interesting. I think Flagstaff is a great spot for it, and we're definitely preparing well. And also, like, I'm training with the likes of the Halls, who are very good on the Boston course and know quite well. So that helps.
Yeah, you get a lot of insider info there.
Yeah.
And then you were just on the track indoors.
Yeah, that was so fun. I've missed the track a lot. Like, I feel like I don't want to say bye to that yet, and I'm not for a while. But, like, obviously, I think the marathon chose me for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I always envisioned myself making the Olympics and world teams in the 5K. So it was a shock that my debut qualified me for the Olympics. Yeah, so I don't know. I think the 5K is what got me really good at the marathon though. Like I just think the speed and the like VO2 max, like that side of things got me to where I am now in the marathon and on the road. So I do pay my dues, you know, my respect to the 5K still. I like to still dabble in that, and why not? Like, while I still can, it makes sense to like mix it up a little bit, and I do think it complements me for the marathon as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we are used to seeing marathoners doing like the 10,000 on the track and things like that, but seeing you show up at like an indoor meet when you're kind of in the heart of marathon life, you know, was surprising and exciting. And I think it was Fast Women. They were like, "What can't she do?" What was it like to be back on an indoor track?
Yeah, I know it's been 8 years. I looked at my power of 10 the other. And I was like, oh my gosh, it has been 8 years. Yeah, it was so fun. I was absolutely terrified all day though. I was like, it's so funny because I don't really get like nervous like that. Like on the roads, I just like, I'm so like, I don't know, it's a different kind of nerves for the roads, but for the track, it's just like, oh, it's intense. I was like, oh, I just think, I don't know, I think it's going to be way worse in my head, like with the hustle and the bustle of it. But it really wasn't. But Nick was laughing at me because I was on the start and I was terrified on the start. I think that's the worst bit for me and the anxiety-ridden part for me. So I was apparently on the start, and apparently it was like I literally went 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then I left. And I went, like the gun had gone, everyone had gone, and I was just still on the start line.
Oh
like,
no, oh my gosh.
Terrified. So I just like waited for everyone to go, and then I went, and then I just went round, and then I did get into like a good rhythm with like 4 or 5 girls like on a train. Yeah, so it did feel like it was way worse in my head basically. But then when it got going, I was like, oh wow, this is fun. Like I've missed this a lot. It's a different kind of hurt for sure, but no, it was fun to mix it up.
So when you say the marathon chose you, tell us what you mean by that, because you debuted at that McKirdy Micro Marathon, which I think, unless people were paying like really close attention to distance running around the world, like that was the first time a lot of us knew who you were. Like it's the first time I knew who you were, and I was like, who is she? 2:22 at this like tiny marathon that you don't even have real competition running that kind of pace. So like, how did it choose you? And then how did you choose it at the same time? Like, why did you pick that marathon?
Yeah, I think for a long time, I guess my family history and stuff, like my dad was like a professional runner, and he was like very good at the marathon and the half marathon and things. So I guess like for the longest time, and then previous coaches, they've always said like, you're a marathon runner, your biomechanics, everything points to you being a really good marathon runner. So I guess I always knew I was like really intrigued as well, and I was like, yeah, I want to know like one day what I'll do. But for the longest time, I was like, no, I'm enjoying the track for now. Like I really enjoy the speed stuff. Like that's what I enjoy. I've always known deep down like I was going to do well, just because like my long runs come really natural to me. Like I've always been able to do like a 20 miler, like a really fast pace, like, and it's been no issue, and I enjoy them. I enjoy my long runs. So I guess like deep down I knew, and I guess that year was like the year where I was like, do you know what? Like, why not? Like, why not go for it and try it and just see like where I land? And in terms of the choice of the marathon, I wanted a low key one for my debut. I never wanted to go all in on like a world major for my first one. I just like, that was daunting to me. And when I saw that one, I was like, oh, it's a bit different. And it also reminds me of like where I train at home. Like I train on like in the UK, I train on this like lake. It's like a 3-mile loop lake. And I do a lot of my tempos. That's where my dad used to train as well. And it's just, I don't know, it's just simple. And then on the lake, there's like loads of trails. And that's just like where it's all I've known for a long time. And then when I saw that course, I was like, I know, like, I bet I was like, people must think I'm a psycho. Like I'm doing my first marathon, like 9 loops of this lake. But I'm like, that to me, like, it just seems like home. It just seems like what I know. So I'm just gonna, and I also thought in terms of fueling, because it was my first time, it's not overwhelming. I just knew every 5K I could go to the table, get my drink, and yeah. And then I just like was able to wind it up like every 5K. Every 5K just got faster and faster and faster. I was very lucky with Nick, like my husband coach, like he was pacing me on the day. And he was like holding me back for ages. Like he was like, no, you're not going yet. It's too soon. I know you feel good. Because I was telling him numbers. I said like, I might not be able to talk to you. So I was just saying, if I say a 5, I'm at the middle ground. And if I say like a 6 or a 7, maybe I've got a stitch or something. And the whole way I was going, I'm at a 3, Nick. I'm at a 3 still. And he was like, all right, Callie, like, I hear you. I know you feel good, but you still got a long way to go. So let's be patient. But subtly, like every 5K, he was like picking up the pace without me really like knowing. And then, yeah, before you know it, I get to 18 miles. I'm in a really good spot. And I was like, I really want to go. I want to set the world alight today. I think I've got a good time in me. And I knew I was on for something like good, so I was like, I really want to push it now. And yeah, when I saw the clock, I was in shock. I didn't know it was that going to be 2:22. I thought for sure like 2:23, 2:24 maybe. So when I saw 2:22, I was like, oh wow, that's quite a good time for my first one.
Yeah, were you did you have like, were you paying attention to a watch at all?
No, because it was
you're just like, relying on Nick.
Yeah, there's a lot of trees and stuff, and I even if I was looking at it, like I don't even think it was right anyway. So yeah, I kind of just like locked into a rhythm. I knew I was getting faster each lap, but yeah.
Wow, and how special that your pacer was your husband.
I know.
I guess not yet. Was he your husband yet?
No, it was very soon after though. Very soon after. So it's a month after that
you got married.
Got married. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So good.
Yeah. Well, crazy time.
Yeah. And you did nail your nutrition.
Yeah, I know. I that was the terrifying thing. I was like, I don't know how it's going to go. It's my first one. Like, it could go really good. It could go bad. Because I'd not really done much practicing at all. Like, it was pathetic. Like, the practicing I was doing a gel here and there on my long runs. But yeah, I was able to get every gel, every drink, every 5K. And I don't think I missed one. Oh, maybe I missed one on one of the, I can't remember which 5K rep it was, but like, yeah, maybe I missed one gel, but like I was able to like pretty much take everything down. And I think that's why I had so much energy towards the end. Why I didn't bonk on the 18th mile or anything. I was just getting faster because I was able to just like get so much down, like in terms of like the nutrition, which I feel very fortunate with.
Yeah, I saw on your Instagram, like you really fuel a lot. Like do you ever feel like, how the heck am I going to get another one of these things down because you fuel so well?
Yeah, I actually really look forward to it. Like I have tooth and like I love the gel. Like it's like icing sugar to me. Like I'm like, I look for that part and it splits it in like, you're just like focusing on that for a little bit instead of like the pain of the marathon. You're just like, okay, cool, like I'm gonna get my gel soon, and then I just like happily just take it down. And I also like in my head I'm like thinking about like what that is gonna do later on for me. So I'm like always like the more you can get earlier on in the race, the better you set yourself up for later in the race. And I always think about that, and it really does. And especially when I know when I take the caffeine gel halfway, I'm like, okay, this is the good gel. Like, this is gonna give me a buzz now. And yeah, I think even though it might be a bit psychological, like it does, I think it makes such a big difference. So yeah, I actually enjoy the fuel inside of it. I don't mind it.
Oh, I love looking forward to a gel. Like, I love looking forward to, but switching it up, having something to look forward to. Okay, so we have to talk about you then were selected for your first Olympic team. And what a special thing to be selected for. So let's start with how did that feel?
Yeah, honestly amazing. Like, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I made it in the marathon. This is crazy. Yeah, it was very surreal for a long time. Even though I was like, of course, I've been selected on the 1 year that the marathon is absolutely brutal. And of course, I can't even tell you how crazy it was. Like, when it's just mental. Just so much up and down. But like the up was like 13% gradient. I was just like, I know, I love my hills. I really do. Like, I'm from Sheffield, very hilly city. So all I've known is hills, and that does not scare me. But at the same time, like in a marathon on the 18th mile to put a hill like that, I'm like, there's hills and then there's this. Like, it was just like pure incline for 1 kilometer, and I'm like, that is savage. And then on top of that, it was so hot, but like. And obviously, like, I was training for that, but, like, nothing can prepare you for the humidity in a marathon like that. It was so brutal. I have so much respect for those who did, like, well on that course, because it really was, like, it was definitely historical. Like, it was amazing. It was, like, what they did is incredible, but Jesus, it was hard. Yeah, and obviously I didn't complete it, but it was still an amazing. I got so much from it, and I know it's gonna make me hungry for the future now. And yeah, I don't think anything scares me now. Like, yeah, even though it was like a bad thing what happened, I've come across with like so many learnings from that. And I just think I learned a lot about the Olympic year in itself. It's just a crazy time for athletes. Like, you've got so much pressure to do well in this one race, and then everything else gets lost, you know? And I just think going into the next Olympic cycle, I will do a lot of things differently. You're expected, obviously, from your governing body, which I do completely understand. Like, they expect you to, like, they want to wrap you around with cotton wool until the Olympics. But for me, like, everyone's individual. And for me, for example, like, I need to race. Like, whether it's the 5K, 10K, halves, I get so much benefits from racing, and it actually, like, sets me up for the next race, you know? So, and because it was the Olympic year, you just have this pressure on this one race. Yeah. So I go to a lot of races what I would have done otherwise, but yeah, I don't know. I took a lot from it, and I would definitely approach World Championships, Olympics very differently now, and I know what I need personally. But yeah, what a crazy time, the Olympics.
Yeah. So that's an interesting point you bring up, though, with the governing body, because, like, how much do you have to do what they tell you to do versus what you know is right for you, and then you don't want to risk, like, not being selected the next time because you're, like, viewed as being rebellious or whatever.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I think if I had it my way, like, I would have definitely done one more marathon. Like, that was my second ever marathon, the Olympic Games. Like, I would have 100% done one in February, which was always going to be the plan. Like, the debut for the one I did in October was always going to be my debut. And then I was going to do the second one to, like, actually, because that was the one to get my feet wet in the distance. And then the second one was going to be like, okay, let's try and make the Olympics. But it just so happened that I obviously, like, did really well in the first one. And then I kind of was made to feel that, okay, that was it. Like, you've got early selection, which is so great. And I was so grateful for it. But at the same time, I was like, advised not to run another marathon because you never know what can go wrong in a marathon. Like something could happen and then it might take away from getting selected. So they didn't want me to race in February, and that was a regret, because I think I would have got more experience, and I would have got like experience in a city marathon, which I think would have just set me up better. Like, but yeah, I don't know what could have happened. I might have bonked, or I might have not ran like I did in my debut. Who knows? But I think either way, I would have got more experience from it. So yeah, each governing body are just different, and like it's just you can't, like, I could have done it. I'm not saying like they were like, no, you absolutely cannot do it. They didn't say no, you absolutely can't. They just advised that I didn't.
Yeah. But the other factor was that your mom had been diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah, it's just a lot. Like, obviously, as an athlete, a lot goes on the like in the background as well, and that just happened to like happen during the training camp just before the Olympics. So we were like, and at the time, like we were basically like told that it could be terminal. So we were like, it was crazy. Like I was like, wow, like I could lose my mom. Like, so I lost a lot of sleep, a lot. And then on top of that, your appetite goes, everything goes. It's really like this horrible, like, so yeah, that was not ideal during the last 2 weeks of my training camp going into Paris. And then when I got to Paris, it was just like really hot. Like it was sticky, it was humid, it was just different. I got there 2 weeks before the marathon. And yeah, the sleep and the appetite only got worse, unfortunately. And yeah, if you don't nail that for a marathon, like you can kind of get away with it in a 5K or a 10K, I feel like. But in a marathon, you are exposed. There's no getting away with that. Like you need to be like on it with sleep, eating, like everything has to be on point to get through a 26.2 mile race, especially in those conditions. And yeah, my body knew that I'd not been on it with it. I didn't mean to. It was no fault of my own. It just happened like the way it did, and there was no controlling it. Like I've never seen myself like that. Nick's never seen me like that. Like I've never had a problem with eating meals. Like, and I was just, like, everything just felt forced, and like this sleep was a nightmare. Like it was, I don't even think I slept the night before the race. I had like zero sleep. And yeah, I just got to the line and I was just like a zombie. I was like, I felt like I was like going to war or something. I was like, this is the Olympic Games. Like it should be fun and exciting. But I was like, oh my God, like this is, it was terrifying. And then my body just did not cooperate whatsoever. And I felt like my body had done such a good job of cooperating all year. And then for that one race, it was just like, no, like I had nothing to give, which is, it's heartbreaking. But I think to the point where I pulled out, even though it was the hardest decision of my life, it was definitely the best decision. Because if I'd not pulled out then, I would not have had the year I had. I would not have gone on to do Berlin. I would not have gone to, I would have pushed through and I would have just been gone, done. Like my body was just absolutely like ready to like be completely done at that point. So to make that decision, it was hard, but at least I still had a season after it and I was able to turn it around. But yeah, these are some of the hard decisions we have to make as an athlete, and these things can happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, and that turnaround to Berlin wasn't really that long. So how did you emotionally pick up the pieces? Not just from like having to DNF the Olympics, but like with the emotional stuff of what you were dealing with your mom.
Yeah. I don't know how I did that, to be honest, as well. Like it was still like such a hard few weeks. I just went back and I just tried to like really emphasize the sleep and the eating again. I just went back to the UK, got back into like my kind of a routine. There was also a lot of other stuff going on. It was just a crazy time, I'll be honest. But yeah, I did somehow like catch up with some sleep. I got my appetite back. And I just was like, no, I need to do this. Like, this is something I've got to do. Like, and I only heard good things about Berlin as a course and like how they treat you and everything. And it was just like an amazing experience. And I really just like had to change my mindset and just focus on like the task at hand. I had Nick there with me, and he got me through that rough time. It was a really hard time, but he was like, you've got this, it's going to be good. And like, we were walking to the line that day, and it was like, look, we get to do this. We're so lucky. Like, and I did just feel really fortunate. And I was just like, no, like, I do really enjoy what I do. Like, let's just go and have some fun out there today. And like, I just wanted to like, my only focus was just to genuinely like regain my love for the marathon again. That was my only goal. Like, and I was like, if I do that, I know I'll run well. So I did. I just like shifted my focus and like just enjoyed like being in this pack with Nick, my husband and coach. And I just, we were having a great time. And I did bonk a little bit, and like the halfway point, I was like, oh, this could be bad. I think everything came back to me from Paris. I was just like having some like really dark thoughts, and I was like, oh my God, like I might not put this off today. And like, and then I was like, no, like I was able to like reframe from that. And there was also this like other guy who came from nowhere, because at that point it was only me and Nick. We'd like pulled away from the pack, and this guy comes from nowhere, and he's like, Callie, you're doing amazing. You've got this. Like, and I was like, wow. Okay. I was like, okay, I've got this. And then all of a sudden, like he went and ran next to Nick, and then I kind of like was like just behind them for a little bit. And then we were kind of just like, I was like, no, this is an amazing thing. Like, wow, like this running community is just incredible. And I just worked with them both. And then I was like, come on, guys, like, let's go. And then all of a sudden I had this like other, like, it's so weird, like with a marathon, like it was in waves, like you feel great and then you feel awful and then you feel great again. Like, and I remember seeing some other girls in front, and I was like, okay, it's a race now. Like, let's go. I was like, Callie, just go and get the next girl and the next girl. So I was 12th, and then I went to 7th, and I just started to race. I put my like race mindset on and just shifted it, like my mindset, and I ended up with a PB, personal best. So I was really, really happy. I was so happy. I was just like, that's the one like main one race where I'm like, I'm really proud of that effort today, just because of like everything what was going on in the background. And I was like, I am actually quite tough. Like, I needed to prove that to myself, I think. And then I'm just excited for like what's to come now, with like a clear mind and just like, but that's the marathon, and I just think it's a good metaphor for life as well. Like, it's not always going to be straightforward. It's not always going to be linear, makes sense. There's a lot of ups and downs, and that's life, isn't it? And it's also the marathon.
Wild that you felt bonking at mile 13, though.
I know.
And you still went on to run a PB.
Yeah, I had like one or two bad miles where I was like, ooh, I kind of like went off the pace, and then I was able to just shift it. And I think I had my gel and my drink, and I was like, no, because I had my caffeine gel, and I was like, Callie, you've got your caffeine gel now. Shift this mindset. You've got a buzz, like you feel good, like that's gonna kick in very soon. And I am very sensitive to caffeine, so I tell myself that, and I'm like, it's gonna kick in. And I did. It just all kicked in, and it was just like a little phase, a little blip, and then I was able to shake it off. But I knew I was going to have some like bad thoughts. Like, it was just like my next marathon quite soon after Paris. So you're always thinking about your last race. So it is nerve-wracking. But yeah, I'm just glad I was able to like knock those bad thoughts away and just like continue on.
Yeah. What is your message to someone who has gone through that experience where they had a DNF or just like had a race where it just did not go well and they ran, total positive splits, and like when you get to that next race, how do you stay out of your head about the previous one?
Exactly. Like, I think, I think I learned a lot from that you can, doesn't always have to be that way. Like, I think it's inevitable. We're going to have bad races. We're going to have good races. But it's what the learnings you take away from that. And we're tougher than we think. And we've honestly, like, I knew I knew I'd not trained the way I had for Paris for no reason. And I knew I had that in me. It's just truly believing that. And it just takes a few races sometimes, and then it clicks. Just like anything, like, you just got to keep going, and one day you will see the result. Like, you will see the training and everything like come to fruition eventually. You just got to back yourself and keep going, and one day it will stick.
This episode is supported by Bitch Stick. Bitch Stick is a self-care brand that is also a call to action to transform a bad word into a force of good. Each year, Bitch Stick donates to nonprofit organizations that support survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. These products are made with high-quality ingredients. They've got lip balms, muscle rubs, anti-chafing sticks. Every runner needs an anti-chafing stick. We all need that. SPF 30 sticks for your face. We even have an athlete good luck gift set. Oh my gosh, this is so great. It comes with a Quit Your Bitchin' muscle rub, the SPF 30 face stick, anti-chafe stick, original lip balm SPF 30, and SPF 30 eucalyptus mint lip balm. What a cute gift idea. Some of their lip balms also have a little color to them, which I love. The Super Sheer Petal Pink is so pretty. The good news is you all can save 20% when you go to bitchstick.com and use the code Lindsay, Lindsey. Now, what you need to know is this is a small woman-owned business, actually founded in Indianapolis, but it's in over 5,000 retail stores nationwide. So cool to see an indie entrepreneur make a quality product while supporting survivors of domestic violence and supporting runners with that anti-chafe stick and the SPF that we all need. Go to bitchstick.com and use the code Lindsay, Lindsey, at checkout for 20% off your order. So then for CIM, you didn't have Nick to pace you because he was racing.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is really, I guess it's your second marathon you start that you don't have him next to you because he obviously wasn't running Paris with you when you started. And you won CIM. What a crazy, awesome sprint to the finish there. What was that like? What was that experience like? Such a different kind of race compared to Berlin.
Yeah, so different. And I think one of the main reasons I wanted to do that as well was like I knew I wanted to do Boston, and it's like a point-to-point race. It's like definitely got some net downhill, but it's also got a few sneaky hills in it. So it was great practice for that, and I really enjoyed it. Nick has only spoke highly of that race. Like he's done it a few times at this point. I think it was like third time's a charm for him. So it was awesome to see him on the podium as well. And yeah, I know I feel like I rely on Nick so much, it seems like, for the pacing, but no, it was I do love racing, and it was good. It was like I had some guys running around me. There was a lot of solo miles. That was hard. That is the first time I've done that in a marathon. And when you solo in a marathon, that hits differently. So I was feeling a little bit sorry for myself for a bit, but I was able to you just have to keep moving forward, one leg in front of the other. Yeah, and was able to get my fueling in. And I remember was it the 20th mile or something? I remember looking behind me, or maybe the 23rd mile. And I looked behind me and I was like, oh, wow, there's a female.
And was that Jackie?
Oh, yeah, that's Jackie. She was doing amazing. And she was coming in like a train. And I was like, oh, wow, I've got to move.
And that's early to feel that pressure already at 20?
I think it was actually 23.
Okay.
So I had 3 to go, but it's still quite 3 miles to go. And I was like, I was feeling sorry for myself. I was like, I am locked into this rhythm right now. But it just shows, I think the racer in me, I do love racing. And I think I was able to just be like, no, Callie, there's no feeling sorry for yourself anymore. You've got to race. You've got to go. If you want this win, you've led it now for 23 miles. You've got to go. But I was like, yeah, fair play. And then she did come right next to me. And I was like, ooh. And I just, luckily, the racer in me, I was just able to, put on, another, I went from, locked into I think I was late 5:30s, maybe even 5:40. I was tired, and I was suffering with some sleep stuff as well. Again, but not nowhere near Paris, but it was pretty bad, sleep apnea stuff. So
wow, sleep apnea.
Yeah, not fun. And I was really having that bonking kind of situation where I was my body was really tired and I could feel it. I was just feeling quite foggy, but then I was like, oh my God, I had to switch it. And then, so yeah, I went from a 5:40 to a 5:10.
Wow.
And then yeah, I had to just sprint home. It felt like a full-on sprint, and I was like, wow, like I'm kind of glad I can do that. Like, that I can just change the pace if I need to. So that was a good experiment to know that I can just do that. I had to if I wanted to win the race and get the course record. So yeah, I was just like running so hard at that point. So, but fair play to Jackie, like she was coming along for that ride with me the last few miles. Yeah, no, it made it fun. It made it interesting, and yeah, it kicks me to the line. I was like, okay, because I would have probably ran a minute slower if it wasn't for Jackie. I think I would have just been like, okay, Callie, just get in.
Phoned it in, yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Two things. I want to start saying fair play because I love that. I'm going to start adding that into my vocab.
Do I keep saying it?
It's so good. It's so good. I'm going to start adding that in. I love it. I'm just going to think, oh, I play pickleball now. So I'm going to start saying that when I play pickleball. Like those ladies gave me some fair play. Yeah, I like that. Two, so you guys were neck and neck though in that race. Like she actually came right up next to you. I don't think I realized that. Okay, that's like extra hearts beating fast. Like, oh great, here we go. Yeah.
Oh yeah. People watching were like, oh wow, this is getting exciting.
But see, now you're like, now you have no excuse at the end of a marathon. You know that you can drop down to such a fast pace.
Yeah, you've got to it depends how much you want it. Yeah, I really wanted it. So
yeah. Speaking of that, so your marathon PR is 2:21. What is it? 2:21:24 from Berlin. And obviously we're running Boston this spring, so we're not thinking about times there. But you probably really want to break 2:20 at some point.
Yeah, definitely. I think I can do it sooner than I think as well. Like it does seem like a hard distance, but a hard barrier, and it really is. But but I think it's doable. I think I'm seeing that more and more in my training, and if all the stars align and I do everything right on the day, I think I can definitely get towards 2:18. That 2:15 is scary though. That's something else. That's our British record. It's insane.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, it's insane. But yeah, hopefully one day, give me a few years, maybe we can try. I think it's 5:10s.
Wow.
For a long and then going under 5:10. Oh god. But yeah, that would be the absolutely the ultimate goal. But yeah, it's not an easy barrier, that's for sure. But we're seeing women crazy things, so let's see.
Yeah. So do you think for this fall then, since you're doing Boston in the spring, do you think for the fall you might pick a course that's like a fast course?
Yeah, I would love to. I'd love to try and do an end of year fast race for sure. I have to talk to Nick about which one. But yeah, we're definitely thinking towards the end of the year. I'm sure there'll be options, and it all depends on how I come off world champs.
Yeah.
I plan to do the world half. I love the world half. So that's in San Diego, so that'd be really fun. And so it's all all comes down to how I come off that, and then go from there with which marathon I will do.
Okay, so the world half champs. So here in this, so we'll put this out on this Friday, which is fun because a lot of times I have interviews that I record them and then we put them out 6 weeks later, but we're up to speed right now. And so this coming weekend is the US half marathon champs. And so we're going to get to see which Americans will run in the world champs. But so it sounds like you've already been selected to do that.
Yeah, I think there is a race, technically, but I've told my governing body they have to have discretionary spots. But I'm I can't. They only told us quite last minute, and I'm I'm in the States, I can't get back for that race. But yeah, I think I should hopefully, fingers crossed, get that discretionary spot.
Okay.
Especially going off the Marigami race, I would think that I would get it. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, no, the America, I'll be there in Atlanta cheering. I'll be a full-on cheerleader for the day, cheering on Nick and the guys and Sarah Hall, and I cannot wait. Yeah, I'm so excited.
So when do you head to Atlanta then?
Yeah, so I raced in Florida, and then on the Saturday, the 15K champs, and then
The Gate River.
and then I will fly like to Atlanta after
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
You'll just go there after your race on Saturday, and then the half champs are Sunday.
Yeah. I can't wait.
I was thinking about that because I was like, ooh, I wonder how many like people aren't doing Gate River, like who would normally be doing Gate River aren't doing it because they're going to be at the US half champs.
Right. Yeah. But I've noticed some crazy good guys in there though.
Yeah.
I just like a race on with the guys, which I love, but I'm like, oh, like I think we get like 10 minutes, but it seems like so much, but I'm like, oh, I'm looking at the guys field and I'm like, oh, I think they'll catch me. Like, I think Tabello just recently ran like a 2:06, was it? Yeah. So I'm like,
oh yeah, because they do the equalizer.
Yeah. So that'll be
that's
fun.
so fun.
But,
I love that. Yeah. I've heard it's so much fun. And I love Jacksonville. I go there every February for the Donna Marathon. So it's a great place and just like an iconic bridge to run on.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I'm excited. I've only heard good things. So yeah, I mean, I love to like, the course record's insane though. I was like, that's crazy. Like, Save's got some hills in there. I think Shalane Flanagan's, yeah.
Oh, Shalane has the record?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you mentioned the half marathon in Japan, 66:58. Dang.
I know. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I still can't believe I ran that just recently. Yeah. I keep seeing like really good times, and I'm like, wow, she ran 68, and Nick's like, you ran 66, and I'm like, oh god, I did that. I'm like, yeah, that barrier doesn't seem real right now. Like I think it was just a fun race, and I'm just like, I love those races where you don't even know you've got like ran that well, and like how it felt really good. So I'm like, I'm excited. I do love the half though. I've always loved the half. I think I've known like a good one was in there. So to actually go and do it, like I'm like, okay, like yeah. And that's why like World Half excites me so much, because I would like really want to be up there in the mix. I think that would be really cool. My dad got a bronze medal in the World Half at one point, so I'm like, okay, I need to try and bring a medal back into the family name again. And that's I really
so
do.
Exciting.
Thanks,
yeah, you're in a good spot then for the 15K then, like coming off such a speedy half marathon. How much faster are you running for the 15K?
God, I know. I don't know. I think it's, though the record, what was it, 5:05? 5:03s. That's crazy. That's the course record, but I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like you're going to do it.
Oh God, it'll be hard, especially because I'm not horse as well. Like I've heard, yeah. True. I mean, I'm of course it might suit me. I'll see. Or it might go one way or the other. Who knows? But I'll give it a good go.
How much more fun is it going to be cheering on the half champs, the US champs, having your race like done for the weekend, and you're just like there to cheer and hang out and party?
I know, I can't wait. I'm glad, like, yeah, mine will be done. I can, like, I do get really nervous spectating, though. It's, so different. Yeah, it's really nerve-wracking. And, like, I know Nick's been training so hard and so well. He's had his most consistent block in a long time. And Sarah's been training awesome. So, like, yeah, but it's still, like, nerve-wracking seeing how they're going to go. And, obviously, there's a lot on the line. And, yeah, everyone wants to do well. But, yeah, it's just different. Like, but no, I'll bring a lot of energy. I'm excited. I'll be on there screaming. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Nick being your coach and like your history with coaches and how you landed on like, hey, this is how we're going to do this. Like he's going to coach me.
Yeah. I've had some great coaches, but I've also had some like egotistical men in the sport. Unfortunately, they were always going to get it. And like, and you just got to really like make sure you have the same vision. And I've always had quite a businessman who's kind of like coached me. Like even Joe Franklin, he's an incredible coach. Like I can only say good things about him, but he's got such a business mind. He's really good at recruiting. That was his like, but he's a wizard and he has his like set like routine where he knows what works, and it worked for me. Like, and I feel like he looked at my like big picture as a whole. Like he didn't just look at like and he never over raced me. Like I had such an amazing college coach, but like in terms of like the emotional support, like he would admit that, like he won't like. But that's why we have assistant coaches in college. So I've never emotional side of the coaching, like I've never known what that even feels like, to have that, like someone actually care about your feelings and your day to day. And then because I had someone like Nick Bordeaux for 3 years, so when I lived in Australia, which was the most incredible experience. And I do like only have like honestly like mainly good things to say just because of the group. Like what an incredible group of women and people to train with, like with the Melbourne Track Club. Can only say good things about them, and Jen Lacaze and Sinead Diver and Charlotte Purdue, who's a Brit who like goes over a lot. And then, but yeah, Nick Bordeaux is also very much a businessman, and like you just turn up to the session and you do the session, which is like all I needed, to be honest. But God, it's nice to have someone who actually like supports me emotionally and everything, and he gets the athlete I am and what I need. And we talk about I'm always getting feedback like week to week, and we're just really like, obviously like, yeah, he's my husband as well and it makes sense, but he's got no ego in the sport as well, which I love. Like he really hasn't, like he's just so like he's meant to be a coach. Like he really is incredible at what he does, and he just gets it and like splits, and like he just knows it from the back of his mind. Like he knows what I need to be doing, what I need to be hitting, and where I'm at in terms of like how I'm doing in my sessions. And he's very mathematical minded as well, and he also studied biology, so he's got a lot of like background, and he watches my body, and he knows when I'm gonna have a good one or a bad one just from like watching me. So that's been really like interesting and just amazing, like to have that relationship. Really, like I feel very lucky and fortunate now to have that. Like it just works, but we do work very collaboratively as well. Like he understands that I also know a lot about myself at this point as well. Like had a lot of different coaches, and we know what works at this point. And I feel like it is a formula, and if you crack that formula and you know what works for you, because everyone's so different in what they need. But if you can crack that, I think, yeah, it's an amazing feeling. And I feel like it's took me a long time to crack the formula, but I feel like I really do know now, like what I need personally for each distance, and to do well at multiple distances. And it's finally, I'm seeing the fruition of it now after many different hurdles in the sport. And like I said, different coaches, what might have not understood me as well. And like I've had a few in between, like had another one again, like just same kind of like I said, just like maybe not in it for the right reasons, maybe I'm in it more for the power and the money and things like that. And unfortunately we do get that still, and that's what I would always tell younger athletes: make sure you pick the right coach, because that is literally what will catapult you into your career. Make sure they have the same vision as what you have, and if they don't, like question that, because you only get, it's not a long career being in, in this sport. Like it's a short-lived one. You can't do it forever. Like, so pick your circle wisely, pick your coach wisely. That would be my message for sure for younger athletes coming through into the sport.
Well, you can't run professionally forever. It's not like a typical career where you retire at 60. But you are 33 and you're like are you 33? 32. Okay. No woman wants to be aged a year. You are 32. You are a youthful 32.
Still acts like I'm 22. So
Yes. Do you like Taylor Swift?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
I just thought about the song, 22 when you said that.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is like we historically have just seen like how dominant women in their 30s are in the marathon. So how does it feel to know like these next like 5-10 years, like, wow, there's so much you can unleash in them?
Oh, I think that's the most amazing thing in the minute what we're seeing. Like so many women are just absolutely smashing it, even in their 40s, like making teams. Like it's incredible, and it gives me a lot of hope. And I still think I'm like not even like touched the surface on what I can do, like especially in the longer distances and things. And because that's the thing with the marathon, I just think the more like experience, the more you've got in your legs, like over the years, the better you get. Like it really is like one of those like, yeah, amazing things that, like, and I just know, like, yeah, if I do things correctly, like, I think I'll just keep progressing through and only get better in the marathon distance, and things. But yeah, no, it excites me so much, and we're seeing it a lot more now, where like the longevity of athletes is insane. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's so exciting. Okay, so we've got the Gate River Run. You have the New York Half coming up as well, and then you said a 10,000. So, are you hopping on the track for that?
Yeah, so I'm finally going to do the 10.
Okay.
In LA. Yeah, so I'm excited about that one. And hopefully that'll get me, like, yeah, Olympic selection maybe.
For the 10,000.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I would really want to, like, try and go for that time. Yeah, it's insane. But
what is it? What is the time?
It's 30:20 to make the world team. But I think they have a B standard with the UK now, which is crazy to me, because like last year they've done a full 180 from last year. Like, we had like people were like 0.6 of a second off it, and they got the invite from World Athletics and things, and they got declined. But this year we've got a B standard, which is I can't remember. But I don't know. I want to get the A standard and hopefully just definitely, like, yeah, get my spot on that team on the track again. That'd be really fun.
I guess we're talking about worlds, aren't we? I was going to say, like, if you are selected for the 10,000 in the 10,000 and the marathon for the Olympics in 2028, would you do both? I mean, this is so early to ask a question like that, but.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I really wanted to this. I just didn't get any track under me, and like
yeah,
like it was just, yeah. I would definitely. I think it adds like less pressure, and I think it makes it more fun, and I think that's why I would do so much like better. Like if I had like a few focuses, I think that works for me really well. Like, I'm so fan. Like, look at her, she pulled it off. Just, you know,
just feel like it's fun. Yeah, totally.
Right.
The most exciting like sprint to the finish marathon we've ever seen after how many other races. Yeah, so cool.
Actually, yeah.
I do love that sentiment though, because I was just talking to Amanda Vestry about this on the podcast. Like, obviously the Olympics and world champs are like big deal. Like, this is pressure, but like not being like all my eggs are in this basket. If this doesn't work out, like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. Like, but like holding everything kind of like closer to those big events. Like, every race can be fun and important, and I don't need to make one race so important.
I know that, and that's what I learned from the Olympics. I'm never going to do that again. They really do put the whole thing on the Olympics, and it is like one race, and I know it's an insane race and it's the pinnacle for so many athletes, but there's also so many other amazing races what we can do, and incredible opportunities to show like our, like, where we're at, and doesn't have to just be in that one race. But yeah, it is I don't know, I think it's good to like just look at the bigger picture and like all the different races we've got on the calendar, and let all of them excite you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's a tricky thing, like a lot of sports psychology that goes into that. Just like, hey, look, like, this is a high pressure race, like, this is a big deal. And I know if I only obsess on it, like, it's not going to work out in my favor. Like, how do you balance that in your brain?
Yeah, and that is like, you do, like, I think it is important to work with a sports psychologist for that reason. And like, yeah, it's probably what I needed, to be honest. I always think, like, because I studied psychology and stuff, I'm one of those people, I don't need it, I'm quite good, and I've got a good circle of people as well what are just like really level-headed, and they're great for me, and I think them in themselves. But like, honestly, yeah, the sports psychologist could be really good for those reasons. And we're seeing more and more people with sports psychologists. I think the top people in the athletics world will work with sports psychologists, and those kind of things will help, especially leading into something like the Olympics, because it's so pressurized, and you do feel like it's like do or die, which it shouldn't feel like that. And I think it's finding ways to cope, and everyone's different with their coping mechanisms leading up to big races. So
what is your mind like on race morning?
Normally I'm like really calm. Like I do genuinely like love what I do. So it's just, I actually love racing. So I'm pretty calm. Like, I think that for me, like, the best thing I can do is underthink. If I underthink, I'm going to have a good race. Like, if I'm there thinking, oh my God, who's in it? Like, what have they done recently? Like, let me look at their times and their power of 10. And like, if I do all that, I'm not going to run well. But if I go on the start line and be like, I can't control what anyone's doing right now, how well they're going to run. Like, I just need to focus on me and what I want out of this. And like, yeah, hopefully that will get me up there in the race. But yeah, the less I think, the better I'm going to do.
I love that advice. We all need to take that. It's not just about running. I think that's a really great advice. Okay. I think we've covered most everything. I guess we didn't talk about working with Nike, but the journey to sponsorship for you like wasn't a simple journey either. I mean, I think people see athletes with their kits on and they're like, oh, Callie, she's sponsored by Nike. But like, this was a long time coming and you worked full time for a long time. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I did definitely take, the ripe age of 30 is when I got my first professional contract.
Wow.
So yeah, I worked my whole life. Basically, I started running when I was like 12 years old. And yeah, I think for a while, it's always been the goal to get a sponsorship, but I don't regret the way I've lived. I've lived a colourful life. I've done a lot of different jobs. And I feel like I've got a lot more life experience now because of it. And yeah, like obviously it was the best feeling in the world when I finally got that sponsor. And like, yeah, but it definitely doesn't define me. And like, I'm so glad I've lived this colourful life and done like many things, gone to Australia, like done like, been to many different countries, tried a few things. And yeah, like it is definitely a proud moment. I still doesn't feel real that I'm sponsored by Nike. Like the brand, like I think it means more to me as well, just because of my dad and his history. So that's why I also signed with Nike in the end. It was like he was sponsored by Nike for 14 years. So
wow.
Yeah, that's like a deeper rooted meaning for me. But it is surreal still, like just getting the shipments through it like regularly. Like I'm like, wow, like this is really cool. I definitely don't take it for granted, and that's why I always like remember my roots and where I've come from and how far I've like come in the process, and just enjoy it now, like for what it is. And hope like, yeah, I definitely have to step up a notch. Like every race I'm on, I'm like, I represent Nike, I've got to do well, I can't let them down. But I think that makes me like, yeah, rise to the occasion and do well in most of my races. But yeah, it's fun.
Can you tell us a couple of jobs that you did like before you went, like you weren't balancing both like a separate full-time job and running full-time?
Oh, everything you can think of, I've done it. Like, but I've worked in mental health hospitals. I've worked with kids in schools. I've worked, God, you name it. Like in terms of like sales jobs, I've been like door knocking before. I worked at this farm. I did farm work in Australia to keep my visa. So I was cutting down trees in the open forest.
Wow.
You name it, I've probably done it. Like,
cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like a lot of physical work.
Yeah. Oh God, it was
like cutting
crazy.
The trees. Wow.
I know, but it was during COVID, and that was like to keep my visa. Like, otherwise I would have gone back, and that would have been it, and I would have been stuck in England during COVID, and that wouldn't have been fun. So.
Okay, so you were in Australia during COVID times.
Yeah, and Melbourne had the strictest
lockdown.
They
were super strict.
So strict. Yeah, it was a crazy time. Like, and you feel down under anyway. It's called down under for a reason.
Yeah.
You are isolated from the rest of the world for sure. And it felt even more isolated. And I was like, wow, this is it for me now. I am here. Like, yeah. There's nothing about it. Like, I'm in Australia, and I'm very lucky that I had a great group of people around me during the time. But God, yeah, it was an isolating time.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we always wrap up here with some end of podcast questions. So what, Callie, is something professionally or personally you would like to do that you haven't done yet?
Yeah, I think right now, like, I'm house hunting. We're trying to find our house here, and I want to get into, like, I think real estate is really cool. Like, I'm learning a lot. I think that would be something I really want to get into one day, just because, like, even just doing like short term, like doing really well in short term rentals, because for our lives, like we can't always be here.
Yeah.
reading a book recently about short-term rentals and people who crush it, and especially like we're flitting around from place to place. So yeah, getting into real estate, that'd be really cool.
Wait, what's the book?
Oh, what's it called? Nick's got it right now. It's called Rental Tycoon, How to Be a Short-Term Rental Tycoon. Yeah.
I want to read that because I want to do that too. And like my husband would be game, but like I think I need to be like the leader because he's like, I'm too busy with work to like be the leader on that. So, but I never know where to start. So, okay, you read the book. Okay, I'm going to read that book.
Yeah. That guy, he took us around a house and he's a great guy. Genuine, really genuine. Will tell you like the ins and outs of like how to be successful with short-term rentals, and his book is amazing and he's very honest in it. If you want to get into that business, it's definitely like doing really well. So
okay, I did not know I was going to walk away with that resource today. I'm excited to pick it up. What about on the running scene?
Oh, I don't know. Like a personal goal, what I want to achieve in my running. I think it should just be like to get more records. Okay. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, anything.
I will any record. I ain't got one record yet.
That's coming. That's coming. Watch out, Paula. 2:15. Yeah, that's good. Well, you want that medal in the World Half Champs.
I know. That'd be an amazing goal. Yeah, to get. Yeah.
Well, so now I usually ask, what's the best, most recent book you've read? We have Rental Tycoon, but do you have any like fun reads that aren't learning reads?
I was on the plane the other day. It was like way longer than it should have been because it was a windstorm from Boston back to Phoenix, and I was reading. It was an Audible, and it got me through three and a half hours of the plane journey. Thank you, Joan Benoit Samuelson. I don't want to say her name wrong, but she's an absolute legend. And I learned so much of the history of women's sport through her. And she talks a lot about like how it started in terms of, and it's crazy how it was in this lifetime, like the way it was, and that she just had to like, go amongst this like massive men and make like put herself on the line and be like, no, I'm running, like you can't stop me. It was inspirational, and it's crazy that it was only in 1980 that she, finally they allowed the marathon in the Olympics for women.
That's crazy.
And she absolutely smashed it, won it. And just learning about women paving the way for women to, be doing what I'm doing now. Like, I feel like I would have been one of those fearless women. I hope I would have, and be like, no, you're not stopping me. I'm going to be, if I want to do this, I'm going to do it. No man or anyone can stop me do that. But like, from doing that, but I just think she's incredible. And so I really did enjoy that book a lot.
Love Joan.
There's a lot of Boston Marathon history in there, which I was like loving. I was like, this is cool. Yeah.
That's so fun.
It's called Miles to Go.
Miles to Go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. What is your last message to leave with our audience today?
I think it would be just from Joan herself. Just like, we've got to keep paving the way for women. I think that would be my message. Like, we've got to do it for those who made this happen, and we get to do this. That's fun. So for any runners, aspiring runners out there, like, just keep going, just keep showing up. It's, running. It's, I don't know. Yeah, just take Joan's advice. Like, let's keep making the women proud. And
I love it. Thank you so much, Callie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Thanks, Callie, for coming on the podcast. If you all are not following Callie yet and cheering her on, you got to go do that. She's a super fun follow, and she keeps her Instagram pretty up to date. She is Calli, CALLI Anne, so Callie Rianne on Instagram. I am Lindsay Hine 626. I'd love to find you over there, connect with you. You can find more about this show and all the shows in our network at sandyboyproductions.com. I'm super grateful for all of you. I hope you're having a great day, a great week, and thanks for being here. And we'll see you next week on I'll Have Another with Lindsay Hine Podcast.